This is Mary Muse here, and I am doing my final, well not my final, but one of my last videos on transcranial magnetic stimulation. I have officially completed the 30 sessions of 5 treatments a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I'm now on, what's the opposite of titrating? Like downgrading? We're doing a slow downgrade from 5 a week. I just did 3 a week last week. I have 2 this coming week, and then I have 1 the final week, and then I'm done. But essentially, all the results have been acquired, thank goodness. So, what did I want to talk about? This is kind of random. I didn't really know where to put this, so I'm just throwing it in at the beginning. One of the things that really struck me was when the director of the program, a nice Russian gentleman, he came up to me when I was about halfway through, and he told me when I was kind of struggling, looking for reasons for how this is working, and I wasn't seeing the results that everyone had said they had seen. And he told me to, instead of looking for less negative things in my life, to look for more positive things in my life, more happiness that's happening. Because for so easily, if you're depressed, it's easy to focus on the depressed things and not see them improved when you're in a depressed state. If you're in a depressed state, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And how difficult it can be to see through the fog and see all the magic that's happening around you when you're kind of in that little bubble. So yeah, TMS is not a cure-all. For some people it is. My psychiatrist told me that a new number of his clients have undergone TMS and have come out without needing to take any medication whatsoever. I have always been antidepressant drug resistant. I have been CBT resistant, I have been DBT resistant, I have been ECT resistant. You can see my video on ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, on one of my other videos if you want to watch that. They all worked for a little bit, but then they failed. So this is definitely not a cure-all. My goal going into this was just to have the medication that I currently take work, and they work. Oh my Lord, do they work. But as I was saying, TMS is not a cure-all for most people. And while I was going through TMS, I was working my ass off trying to improve every other area of my life. There are 6 areas of wellness that you need to incorporate into your life to have full wellness. Those 6 areas are physical, intellectual, social, spiritual, occupational, and social. And so I've been working and tinkering away at all 5 of these things. So I haven't just been lazily going in every single day, just getting zapped with my X-Men powers and coming out and taking that as the result. I have been working my tail off trying to improve myself in other ways too. So I attribute that to a lot of my results and a lot of my positive outcomes as well. So what is the difference now from before TMS to now after TMS? Now I'm able to maintain routines. I'm able to do things like gardening, which is a passion of mine. I have 2 big green thumbs. I can take care of the animals. If you can hear the rooster crowing in the background obnoxiously, they want food. I am cleaning, I'm cooking, I am socializing. It helped with my social anxiety and being able to have friends over, to meet friends places. I had a big case of agoraphobia years ago, but it still would linger here and there. Not a problem anymore. I love socializing. I'm able to drive myself. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm able to drive myself places. But at the beginning of TMS, my mom was having to drive me. Partially because of my agoraphobia and partially because of my anxiety, but also because the TMS at first was so draining. Like I think I told you, or if you look at my first video, I look wiped. I'm also like 3 different hair colors different, but I look wiped, and I was wiped. It was like taking your SAT or your ACT examinations and then going on with the rest of your day. it's exhausting, but eventually you get used to it. And shoot, halfway through, I was driving myself back and forth every day, no problem. Even today, I have a session later today. Today's my last day of my 3-week, 3 times a week downgrade, and I have my work shirt on because I'm planning on working before my TMS, and then I'm planning on going out and working after my TMS, so I'm completely functional in that regard. But beforehand, my mom was having to take me just because of the anxiety. I'm able to work as much as my disability allows me to. I'm on SSDI for people in the United States. For people out of the States, it's a state-funded program for people who have mental or physical disabilities that are of a permanent nature that are going to prevent them from being able to work. And so I have a maximum amount of money I can make on the books. I can make money under the table as much as I want, but on the books I can only make a certain amount. So I'm able to make that quota now, which is really exciting. I am able to now entertain a romantic relationship and have the emotional boundaries to decide when that emotional relationship expires, which I'm very proud of. My anxiety has diminished to a point where I no longer need to take my medication for my anxiety. I don't feel like listing the name of the medication off is appropriate, but I was taking 6 milligrams a day of this substance, and I'm down to taking half a milligram maybe a day. So that's really remarkable for me. And I used to have an addiction problem with these, so that's really remarkable. Another side note, I quit smoking. And now I know that the FDA does not approve TMS for the cessation of substance abuse cravings or for anxiety. However, it has been noted in several peer-reviewed articles. I've researched them up. I will try and find them, and I'll poke them under the notes under this video to the links that say that TMS has pleasant little side effects of curbing your substance abuse cravings as well as curbing your anxiety. So I'm just hoping that when this is over that those don't come back. But I have been, as of today, 25 days free of smoking cigarettes. So, and I've been a pack-a-day girl for 10 years, if you can hear it from my sexy, raspy voice. So, yeah, that's really freaking cool. Looking back, there were early signs of improvement. If you watched the last video I did, the really long one where I had like Miss Mary come on and do an educational video for you, I'd say around treatment 14 was when it hit me, and I really started seeing a lot of stuff. So for any of you out there who are just starting treatment, it's going to be daunting, and the first session is actually kind of painful because you're not used to the zapping, the pulsating on your skull. And your jaw will hurt because you're clenching, and you'll have a slight headache. But I promise you, it will alleviate. I go in there and I don't even know I'm having TMS. I'm talking with the tech girl who's become one of my best friends now. And she is, she's a doll. She's amazing. I want to say her name, but I can't. But she's part of the reason that I've improved so much in therapy as well. And I go in there and I talk gossip with her, and I get my girl time with her, and all of a sudden she's like, hey, guess what? Your 36 impulses are up. And I'm like, what? I've been in here 5 minutes. So it's really cool to, yeah, it's worth it. You'll get through it. Well, once you get past the first week and a half, it'll be a breeze. And then like today, again, I'm going to work, I'm going to TMS, I'm going to work afterwards. It's not gonna faze me. Just a little bit more actually. What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of 2 things. Well, not really, just one thing. I'm afraid of this not sticking. Like I said before, of all the antidepressants I've taken, of the CBT, of the DBT, of the ECT, all of it worked at the beginning, and then it failed. And I'm just really kind of monitoring myself and monitoring my feelings and my emotions and really keeping track on where I am, because I want to make sure that this sticks. But if I do become unstuck, there are boosts or pick-me-ups where I can go in and with insurance pre-authorization, which isn't very hard to get for this situation, I can go in just for like a quick 3 to 5 sessions and kind of just recharge me. And it's much more simpler than like, they have the same concept with electroconvulsive therapy, ECT, shock therapy, where, oh, okay, yeah, well, if it doesn't work in 6 months, you can just come back for a couple more treatments. But those treatments require going underneath anesthesia and full-on surgery. This is just go in, get zapped for 45 minutes, and leave. It's 36 minutes, but whatever. So, yeah, that's really, that soothes my soul, knowing that there is a backup plan if it doesn't stick. And I will be posting a 6-month treatment progress video after this, letting you guys know, it's going to be a while obviously, but letting you guys know how this is stuck, how it is not stuck, how my smoking's doing, and how I'm doing with my overall wellness, those 6 categories. And yeah, so far, from what I can tell, I would advise anyone who has had issues with the depression and has been resistant to medication, because once you start at a medication and it fails, and then they put you on a new medication, that new medication has has 2/3 chance likelihood of it working compared to the first one. And then if that one fails and you go down to another one, this one only has 2/3 chance compared to this one of working. So it's a complete diminishing returns on antidepressant drug resistancy. So if you're in that roller coaster, if you're going downhill and nothing's working for you, I would recommend TMS. I mean, it's more expensive, but at a lot of places insurance covers it. So if you have insurance, look into it. I highly recommend it. It's a bit of a commitment. You have to make sure you're able to go 5 days a week. But it's only for 36 minutes. So you can go on your lunch break if need be. I would highly, highly, highly recommend it. This treatment has saved my life for myself. I am no longer having urges to self-harm or to self-sabotage, or I take that back. I'll have instances, because I'm used to being depressed. I'm used to being unhealthy. And so I'm used to my brain, and I talk about neuroplasticity all the time. And when you're a villager and you walk the same way from the village to the well every single day, you create a path, a trough in the field. And for you to make a new path, even though it might be more efficient getting to the water, you're gonna have to step on thorns and stub your toe on rocks until you create that new furrow. And eventually that old furrow will grow up, and it'll be plentiful with weeds and flowers and grass again. You'll never know that you even walked it. But until you get that new furrow walked through, you're not going to be able to easily switch channels, switch pathways in your brain. So my brain still automatically wants to go to direct, like, self-sabotage, self-harm, but I'm able to now correct it and say, no, we're going on this path. And before TMS, I didn't have that ability. I didn't have that control over my impulses. And the whole like in DBT, the whole concept is to put space in between the event and the emotion, put space in between the event and the emotion, and then put space in between the emotion and the reaction or the impulse. So you're trying to put pauses in between there. I praise pauses. And so TMS has allowed me to put pauses in between those areas, and they're now becoming a secondhand nature to me. So yeah, this has been one hell of a journey, and I hope to see you guys healthy and happy in 6 months. Who knows what my hair will look like by then? Maybe I'll shave it off by then. Who knows? But yeah, joy, love, and light. You guys have a great day.